Hi everyone, welcome to Chapter 4 of Android Bootcamp. Today we're going to show you how to create a banana icon and radio buttons using a weight conversion Android application. Let's get started.
In this chapter, we are going to be going over stuff that we already know, like if and else statements, but we will also be learning new things like creating an Android project with a custom icon, displaying an Android toast notification, placing a radio group, control, plus much more.
A launcher icon is an icon that appears on the home screen to represent the application. The graphic that you choose as your icon should represent the app that you are creating. The icon establishes the identity of the application or brand and should be a simple image with memorable impact.
Here are some of the key terms that are needed for Chapter 4. Some of them are new and some of them are ones that we have used before. Some of the new ones include action bar icon, gravity, margin, radio group, and toast notification.
Yeah, toast!
Take a minute to look at these terms and you can refer back to them later if needed.
Okay, so the last class taught us how to download Android Studio onto our computers and actually get it up and running. So we're going to start a new Android Studio project. And then we are going to name our application Medical Calculator. That is the application that we are going to be making. Oops. On this screen, the minimum SDK, we want to leave this at Ice Cream Sandwich because it runs at 97.3% of all devices in the Google Play Store. If you go to something like Android 6.0 Marshmallow, it only runs on 1.3% of the devices that are on the Google Play Store. And if you go back, you have KitKat, which runs on 70.9%, and Jelly Bean and stuff like that. So we're just going to stick with Ice Cream Sandwich because it's the highest one, it's the oldest, and it runs on the most devices. Hit next. We are going to use empty activity. We tried to use a blank activity, but the blank activity did not work. We got a lot of errors and things did not pop up correctly. So just stick with the empty activity. Leave all this the same, the main activity, and then hit finish. Now during here, it's going to take a little bit for this to create the project, and it's going to build the calculator and all that good stuff. So to talk about our project, the medical calculator is going to take pounds and put them into kilograms or kilograms into pounds, whatever the user wants to put, up to 500 pounds, nothing more. So we'll wait for this to load.
To start out, we're going to change a few display settings in the emulator. This will make the application appear better. At the top of the Activity Main Emulator view, click where it says Nexus 4 and select Nexus 5 from the drop-down menu. This will be the device that we use as reference. Next, we're going to click on App Theme and keep scrolling until you find HoloLight, and then click OK. Voila. Now that we have the emulator display set up, we are going to go ahead and create our banana icon. Before we create the icon, go ahead and expand all of the drop-down sections to the left in the Android project view. This way it'll be quicker to find them throughout the next few steps. Creating an icon using Android Studio is very simple. Under Android project view, our next step is to click on Activity Main, which is under Res and Layout. Then click on File, New, and Image Asset. If you do not currently have an image selected to use as your icon, pause the video and take a moment to select or download a high-resolution image for your project. Locate your image wherever you saved it on your computer. For us, we saved the banana image to the desktop. Once you find your image, select it and click OK.
For this project, we wanted users to see as much of our banana icon as possible. Therefore, under foreground scaling, we chose center. Under the shape, we chose circle. However, feel free to play around with the setting and use whichever you feel looks the best for your chosen icon. Some prefer square or vertical.
Under background color, you can click the little white box here, and it gives you a whole color wheel where you can choose whatever you want your background color to be. For our project, we're going to stick with white because our banana really pops then.
Once you're done customizing your icon, hit Next, and then hit Finish. The next thing you want to do is open up the styles.xml, which you can find under Res and Values. Look for the line that says App Theme and go over to the Parent section and delete the dark action bar, as we just went with the light and no dark action bar for ours. Go ahead and hit Save to save any changes we've made so far and close the styles.xml page. Once you have that done, we can go ahead and begin to edit our code. So open up the main activity.java, which should already be open from when you created the project, but if it's not, you can find it under Java in this first section here. The first line starts with get support action bar, which you can just type get, and it should be the first option that comes up. Just hit tab to save some time. Then .set display show home enabled, which will be one of the first options, so just type until it comes up. Hit tab again and enter true for the value. Next line starts out the same way, so just type get support action bar. This one will be .set logo, which will actually show our logo itself that we have made. And then the final line, get support action bar again. And this one is the display use logo enabled. So display use should pull that one up, and that value is also true. For this second line here, the r.mitmap.ic launcher just references here under res for the R and then mitmap to the icon itself. Next, open the strings.xml file. Here we'll enter in the different strings that we'll be using for the app itself. Instead of typing them in manually, if you click on Open Editor and this little green plus sign here, we can add them all in and it'll code it for us. So the first one we're going to want to put in, we'll use hint for the key, and the value will be weight of patient. We'll add a few more. For the radio button that will convert pounds to kilograms, we'll call it rad for radio, LB to kilo, which will do convert pounds to kilograms. We'll make one for the reverse formula as well, so rad kilo to LB, which will convert kilograms to pounds. We'll make one for the actual button that will be used for the conversion, and we'll call that btn convert, and the value will be convert weight. And finally, we'll add one for the title, which will be txt title, and the value will be convert patient weight. Once all those are entered, close the translations editor and the strings.xml, which you will see has everything we typed in already to save us a little bit of typing. Save the changes we made and click on the activity main.xml again. Go back to the activity main XML page, and on the left here under the palette, you'll find different widgets and text fields that you can use to put onto your app. Before we put any on, click on Hello World and just hit delete to get rid of that text field. The first one we want to add is a plain text view, which you can just drag and drop right to the center of your page. this text view will be our title that we made before. So start out and change the ID to txt title, and for the text, click on the ellipsis and scroll down to select the title. For the title, under the properties on the right side, scroll down until you see the text size and change the font to something a little bit bigger, like 30. For the text color, we are going to use red. So we use the hexadecimal FF0000. Then, if you go back up to layout margin and expand that, this margin will show how many pixels should be on any side of the actual text field itself. So the only one we're going to change is the top, which we will add 15 to drop it down a little bit from the action bar. For your properties, you can change it to anything you want, whether it be bigger or smaller font, a different color, or different margins, whatever you like the look of the best. Next, we'll add the number field in which the user can enter the weight that's going to be converted. So under text fields here under the palette, drag and drop number underneath somewhere the convert patient weight title. Double click and edit the ID to be txt weight, and then click on the ellipsis, scroll down and select our hint that we made before. The first thing you'll notice is that weight of patient is off to the left a little bit. So if you go into properties, scroll down to gravity and expand, you can select the different orientations. We're going to choose center horizontal. Then scroll down to change the text size. We're going to go 25. And then back up to the margin. We're going to make it 15. Next, we'll add our radio buttons. So under containers, select radio group and drop it again in the middle, somewhere below weight of patient. Drag it up a little bit so the top of the box is closer to the actual weight of patient area. Then under widgets, select a radio button and just drag in one button anywhere and a second button somewhere underneath that one. These radio buttons will be used to let the app know whether the user wants to go from kilos to pounds or pounds to kilos. So the first one will go from pounds to kilos, with the ID being the red LB to kilo. And for text, click the ellipsis and go down to the convert pounds to kilograms, hit OK. And for the second one, we'll do rad kilo to pounds. Same thing under the ellipsis. So go ahead and edit the properties of these radio buttons. Under here, we'll change the text size to just a little bit bigger, make it 20. And then for the margins, we'll put a little bit of extra space on the left with 10 pixels. And for the first button, we'll add 15 on the top. For the second radio button, again, we'll change the text size to 20. The left margin to 10. And the top margin we'll make a little bit less with just 5. So there wasn't as big of a gap between the two buttons as there was between the weight and the button. After those properties are set, under widgets, drag the button control underneath the radio buttons. Double click the button, change the ID to BTN convert, and click the ellipsis to select the BTN convert that we made earlier. Under the properties, change the text size again. Under gravity, go with center horizontal. And for the margins, put a 15 for the top. The final control to add is the plain text view, which will display the results. Double-click the text view, change the ID to a TXT result, and just delete the text in the text view. Under Properties, change the text size and the text color. I'll go with red again. And for the margins, add a top margin of 25. After that, save all the work that we've done. And now we'll just finish up some coding to get the app to actually run. Go back to the main activity.java. We're going to go ahead and type out all this coding and do your best to keep up. So hopefully you were able to keep up with that. If not, go ahead and pause the video now and type out any code you missed.
Or you can go back to D2L and copy the text file that we so graciously provided you with.
As for the specifics of the code that we entered, we did some doubles for the conversion rate, weight entered, and converted weight. These lines here were entered so that the radio buttons and text views reference the proper areas. If you have any errors here with radio button to edit text, text view, button, hit Alt Enter a couple times and it'll automatically import the button and edit text widgets up here, including the toast widget. The first if statement shows that if a user enters 500 or more pounds, it'll send out a toast notification that pounds must be less than 500. The second if statement shows that if a user enters 225 or more kilograms, it spits out a toast notification that the kilograms must be less than 225. Once you're done looking at the code, go back to activitymain.xml, save all your work, and we'll go ahead and run the app. To run the app, go ahead and click the green play button here, and keep it selected on Launch Emulator, with the virtual device being the Nexus 5 API, and hit OK. This will take a minute or so to load. Once the emulator is booted up, it'll show the home screen for the actual Nexus 5 device. If the app is not already up and running, like it did here, you can go to the home page and find it in the app menu. If you scroll through, you should find your medical calculator app. So go ahead and open the banana, and we'll test it out. Click on weight of patient and backspace that out. Start with 600, and click convert pounds to kilograms, convert the weight, and you'll get the toast notification that pounds must be less than 500. Now we'll try the kilograms, so do 260 kilograms, convert the kilograms to pounds, and you'll get the toast notification that kilograms must be less than 225. So to check that actually works, go to convert pounds to kilograms again and type in 215 pounds, hit that little check mark, and convert the weight, and you'll find that it comes out to 97.7 kilograms. And we'll also try that with convert kilograms to pounds, and it comes out to 473 pounds.
Alright guys, thanks for watching our Android icons and radio buttons controls tutorial. Don't forget your requirements for this lesson. First, post a snip of your icon that you created, and then take our quiz on Google Docs that we linked through D2L. Make sure you type your first and last name, otherwise you won't get credit. We hope you enjoyed our lesson. We had a lot of fun making it for you guys.